Hello, my name is Ken Thurman, RA 18917569. Yes, I joined and still remember that, as most of us do. I was drilled into our boot camp, basic training, whatever the case was. Frankly, my GI Bill story is rather extensive. I am so glad that our country and the VA is honoring this excellent program. One of the three reasons, the major reason I joined the Army at 17 was to get the GI Bill. My father was a sheet metal worker. My stepmother was a school nurse. I had two brothers and a sister, and I wanted to be able to pay my own way. Plus, not being college material, to say the least, when I graduated from high school, it added a lot of discipline. Stuff to my left, on your right, is what I did and accomplished in the Army, making the rank of Staff Sergeant at the age of 19 with a blood stripe. At 20, I got an early out to start college and use my GI Bill in the summer of 70. Oh, was that ever a good choice? I started at a junior college, double majored in automobile technology, or in those days, automobile mechanics, and also business administration. Slugged through that, got my 2-year degree from American River College, excuse me, and started in Sacramento State and dropped out due to the total irrelevance of college at that point. My brother and I had a couple businesses. We were making more than professors, and I couldn't be drafted and sent to Vietnam, so I'd already been there. So I simply didn't show up for finals. Fast forward, after several adventures around the country, including meeting my son's mother in Nashville, we went down to Atlanta on a honeymoon, and I proceeded to start interviewing for jobs, because that was hot Atlanta and there was lots of opportunity. Among other things, and the biggest thing was, started a small contracting and home repair company called Mobile Home Services. And it was quite successful, to the point where, between my brother and his wife, documenting all the screw-ups we had done, all the tools we didn't bring, all the materials we didn't bring to the job, and making up a binder of basically, this is how you do these various jobs. From that, got contacted by a friend of mine that I got out of the Army with, down in LA. California was sucking wind back then. And I said, come on out. All sorts of opportunity out here in Atlanta. Well, they did, and I went through the process using the lesson plans and the how-to manuals we had created, and got approved for veterans, other veterans, to get OJT benefits using their GI Bill. Not only did we help this friend of mine from LA, who hadn't been to Vietnam, but he had been in Europe, we also had an older gentleman that was retired from the Army and had been in World War II, and he also got OJT benefits using his GI Bill. So it was wonderful. It was a win-win for the business, for both of these veterans, and as for us as employers, to be able to have highly qualified people become competent in this particular field. So that was the second way the GI Bill benefited me and others around me. Then the Federal Reserve and the banksters pumped and dumped the economy, unfortunately, as they've done 5 times since in my lifetime. We had to lay everybody off, shut the business down, and at that point, I told my brother, who was going to go back to California, I said, I'm going to get back into college and learn about this finance and interest rates, because that's where the power is. and use the rest of my GI Bill. So I started into Georgia State University, which is in the heart of Atlanta. No nonsense, no rah-rah in those days, no football, no nothing. You went to Georgia State to get an education. At that point, the world and the powers that be had gotten my attention. So again, I used the GI Bill to get my undergraduate, a BBA in finance from Georgia State. As luck / good fortune would have it, by this time it was the mid-70s and they had extended the benefits, which is just wonderful. Again, it helps so many people. I went on to get an MBA in international business using the rest of my GI Bill with now the family benefits, and got an MBA in international business. Because of that, I was able to get outstanding jobs in 2 Fortune 100 companies. And if anyone ever questions whether or not this is well-used taxpayer money, I, instead of paying hundreds or a few thousands in taxes, working my way through trade jobs or whatever, I was elevated because of the GI Bill and what it allowed me and afforded me to do. I paid tens of thousands of dollars more in taxes, way more than the GI Bill ever paid for me to get these degrees. It's a win-win-win situation. So don't let anybody kid you about the taxpayers don't get their money back. They get it back many times over. The next thing I used it for was buying my first house in Atlanta. I used my GI mortgage benefit and became a homeowner for the first time in a really nice place inside the perimeter of Atlanta, Georgia, and I started into the corporate world. So since then, it has served me extremely well, both in getting jobs, and then I later became an entrepreneur and a professional personal financial advisor with American Express and then Independent. And all of that was based on the GI Bill, which helped me acquire the knowledge and the credentials to do a better job for myself, for the customers, for my clients, and for my family. So the GI Bill is near and dear to my heart, my head, and it should be to many others. What a great program. Thank you very much, Congress. Also, thank